and died for our freedoms, to remember veterans who are alive, served, and are serving our common good for the freedoms we cherish. We are here this day to proclaim the old and new season of values that our nation is destined to uphold, honor, and cherish. We affirm the freedom of voice and vote as being stronger than slavery, oppression, subjugation, and silence. We affirm that goodness is stronger than evil, truth is stronger than falsehood, love is stronger than hate, light is stronger than darkness, and our freedoms are stronger than the armor of political power, corruption, greed, might, and self-interest. We take these moments, O Lord, to affirm our mothers and fathers, sons and daughters, sisters and brothers, family members and friends who served and are now serving our blessed nation. Be with us, Lord, in our endeavors to protect and defend our cherished and sacred freedoms for the common good of all the people of this great nation.
Present arms.
Men and women is humbling. Now would normally be the time where I'd welcome you to Bangor's Memorial Park, telling you it's my pleasure that Bangor can host such a Veterans Day ceremony with such esteem. Instead, I turn to thank Dial E. Braze and VFW Post 739 and its members for opening the doors once again to be the shepherd in our community. Many of you may not know that this post also was a cooling station for our area's residents as a respite from the summer's extended heat wave. Thank you so very much from the bottom of my heart for doing that for this site health. I really sincerely appreciate the people that did that for us. Most Americans profess to truly love our veterans, especially at gatherings like this on Veterans Day Memorial Day. And while their feelings are sincere, it is important to remember that veterans are defending us 365 days a year. The heroism that has been demonstrated time and time again by veterans from the American Revolution to the global war on terrorism is sometimes unnoticed by those of us who enjoy the security and the sacrifice that they've provided for us. While we honor you with today's ceremony and
friends, as Mayor of Rosetto, on behalf of our Borough Council and our members and elected officials and our residents, I would like to welcome you to this Veterans Day Remembrance Ceremony. I would like to thank the Rosetto and Bangor Legion Posts, Bangor VFW, the Bangor Vets, for showing their tremendous support to our veterans by continuing this day of remembrance every year. Throughout our nation's history, Americans have often found it necessary to go to war in order to preserve basic liberties. Servicemen and women who serve in our wars often undergo great sacrifices. All give some give all, and many are still giving. Today we honor these brave veterans. We must never forget that they fought for our freedom. This freedom is beginning to be challenged in our country. It is because of our veterans that we can stand here and say, in God we trust, and that we are one nation under God. We cannot allow these principles to be challenged after what our veterans have done for us. Honoring your veteran can be as simple as verbally expressing thanks to a veteran on the street. Some people volunteer their time by visiting wounded veterans in hospitals. Some deliver care packages to elderly and disabled veterans in need, or looking after
It's all good. First of all, thank you to the VFW for hosting this event every year, for the time you take for volunteers to recognize our veterans. Thank you to everybody, as Gene said, for coming out, whether you're a veteran or you just took the time to recognize the sacrifices made by so many people in defense of our country. And thank you for having me here today. It is certainly an honor to spend this Veterans Day in the company of men and women who put their lives on the line for our country and who serve valiantly in the defense of America and all she stands for. 100 years ago today, on November 11, 1919, President Woodrow Wilson declared a National Day of Remembrance, marking the first anniversary of the armistice that ended hostilities in World War I. Armistice Day, as it was then known, began on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. A century later, we stand together in recognition of those who answered the call to defend America from those who threatened our very way of life. Today,
Be here with you to share in this important day as we honor the many servicemen and women who have sacrificed much to preserve and defend the freedoms we hold dear. Freedoms that we far too often take for granted. We cannot count the immeasurable cost of what our nation's veterans have given to ensure that you and I remain free. I am struck by the meaning behind one anonymous author's definition of what it means to be a veteran. It reads, "A veteran is someone who, at some point in their life, wrote a blank check made payable to the United States of America for an amount up to and including their life." A blank check, a willingness to pay the ultimate sacrifice, someone who values service above self, who is ready and willing to serve a cause bigger than oneself. We are here today to honor these veterans, these brothers, sisters, fathers, mothers, grandparents, neighbors, friends, for the sacrifice they've made defending and serving our country. Many millions of Americans have served during peacetime and war to protect our freedoms and way of life. Even when faced with the possibility of death, ordinary citizens made the extraordinary decision to put their own lives aside to further a greater cause. It's in recognition of their selfless commitment that
50, but he lived an eventful life comprised of service to his country and family. His death 11 years ago was the catalyst for everything that has happened in my life thus far. From my family's deep decline to poverty, to my ability to have money saved for college because of my father's military benefits provided for our family after his passing. Truly, I am grateful for the military's kindness, and I hope each and every day that my current actions make our country and my father proud. Despite the pain after his passing, I persevered. When I moved to my new home, I decided to make an impact, and I took advantage of the opportunities that were present. The United States of America is known as a shining land of opportunity, and that is exactly what makes our nation so great. The opportunities for every individual and movement to succeed.
Thank you, words. I'd like to personally thank the young lady who brought her two children with her today. And I know it's a challenge to care for those children in a community setting, but nevertheless, it's a delight to have them, because those are the people that we have fought and died for. Those are the people whose freedoms in the future take our dedication. So thank you for bringing those children.
There she is. Thank you.
Let us close with the invocation, or the benediction. O Lord God of all people, the giver of life, provider of the earth we inhabit, the air we breathe, and the water we drink. Many have gone before us and given the ultimate sacrifice of their lives for the freedoms we now share. Many gathered here have given and are giving their lives to the service of our nation and to the freedoms we share. Many have gathered here to affirm the sacrifice and service of all who have served our nation for the common good of the freedoms we share. Listen, O God, to our plea. May our freedoms prevail against all the winds of destruction, differences, conflicts, and wars. May our spirits soar with the high ideals that we cherish and hold as sacred. May this nation of diverse people stand in unity as an inspiration of light for freedom and democracy throughout the whole world. Now, O Lord, let us depart in peace, with justice for all, hope for the oppressed and marginalized, and with a firm resolve for a better tomorrow. Amen.